And how about that battle for fifth between teammates David Reagan and Matt Kenson? Quite a battle down to the wire. There's the man of the hour right there. We just saw him. Kyle Busch in 18 gets a little thumbs up from Carl Edwards in the 99.
Thanks, Jeff. You're my hero, buddy.
Talking to a spotter there.
Great job, Wild Thing. Proud of you.
I think that name's going to stick.
I think we need to play that song when they introduce him next week for the All-Star race.
Yeah, like when Charlie Sheen would come out on the field in Major League.
This is typical Joe Gibbs right here. There he is right in the middle of them. He rallied his troops together there about halfway through the race. Great coach. Great coaches can get great people to do great things.
His 8th win of the year in a NASCAR National Touring Series. Kyle Busch will go to victory lane at Darlington. How about that?
Promotional consideration provided by the fastest Darlington race ever, won by 23-year-old Kyle Busch, the youngest driver ever to win at Darlington. Our Matt Yoakum is down there with him in victory lane. Matt?
He took a bow on the front stretch. You bounced off the wall more times than we could count. You had a penalty, lug nut issues. You saw just about everything tonight. What does it mean to win a crown jewel event here at Darlington?
This is pretty awesome. Darlington's obviously showed again tonight that it's one of the hardest places. Always has been, always will be. And even with the fresh asphalt, this place is tough. And so I just can't thank this M&M's Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota team enough. You know, they did an awesome job. And we're going to go through an awful lot of Mac tools here this week fixing this thing, but that's okay. And you know, it's just an awesome win for us. I just can't thank these guys enough. And preparing such a great race car, and the lap cars at the end were great. They gave me all the room in the world, so it's pretty cool.
Who kept you in this game mentally? Your spotter was talking to you, trying to get you to calm down. Steve Addington, everybody.
Everybody did their part. Anybody who was on the radio. So Addington did a great job, crew chief, in making great race calls, and Jeff Dickerson up top, man, he's my savior every week. So he's a pretty awesome dude. And I thought that
Steve Addington gets it.
I thought that was Dickerson. Usually when Dickerson gets in here, he gets a bath too. So
what about that pathetic car?
Man, it just doesn't turn. It doesn't want to do what it needs to do here, especially and this place became aero tight. I mean, it just became one of those aero sensitive racetracks because there's only one lane you can run around this place. That's the fast way around. And anytime you got to get by somebody, you just got to save your stuff and try to maneuver past them somehow, some way. But it's hard to do. And yeah. Again, Joe Gibbs Racing, Toyota Racing Engines, and you know, TRD, everybody that helps out on this thing. And SNOS Energy Drink's pretty refreshing too.
Congratulations. A good gulp there by Kyle Busch. For the second straight year, the championship point leader wins at Darlington. Steve?
All right, Matt, thanks very much. With Carl Edwards, who came from 36th all the way to second. Now, you said the other day, this is your favorite track. I may have to go to a funeral because they repaved it, but turned out okay.
Yeah, it's good. I'm okay with it. At first, I didn't like it too much, but my hat's off to Steve Addington and Kyle Busch. The fastest car won. They did a great job. I wanted to beat them so bad, though. I don't know if Harrison Ford's got allergies, but I got some Claritin. I'll send him. Kyle did a great job, and our pit crew, man, they came back. You know, at first we had a little bit of trouble. The pit crew came back, and really proud of them. I mean, I hate second place, but it's good for points.
And happy Mother's Day weekend as well.
Oh, yeah, they don't give a trophy for best looking mom, but I think I got that one this weekend.
All right, good job. Let's go to Chris Myers.
All right, thanks, Steve. And Carl Edwards, who moves up to 7th in points. Let's check in with Dick Berggren, who's standing by with Dale Earnhardt Jr. Dick?
And he worked awfully hard in that race car. How was it tonight?
Well, you know, we had a real good car all weekend. And when the race started, I knew we weren't exactly like we had been. And Tony Jr. just told me right after the race we changed the lower A-frame and that might have changed how the car rolled over and traveled and stuff and handled. But, you know, we were off a little bit all night, weren't really that good. Track position was everything you could not pass, period. That's the worst I've ever seen it as far as trying to be able to pass. But I got a hand in my team. They worked hard. We worked hard. We finished top 5, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Junior with another top 5 is sure to come soon. Chris Devoda.
Last week in Richmond, Jeff Gordon used adjustments to fight his way into the top 10. This week, adjustments to fight your way into the top 5. Is this team back?
Well, you know, we're definitely making big strides. I'm real proud of this DuPont Chevrolet team tonight. Steve Letarte, I mean, he just did an awesome job. He's got these guys in the pits just on their game. I mean, that track position, you know, and getting us out of the pits and making good calls all night was key. You know, all I did was try to keep it out of the wall, which was not easy in itself. But, you know, we just, we're off, you know. We just, I wish I wasn't so darn competitive, because you have no idea how you know, I'm happy that we have a top 5 and that we're 3rd, and how frustrated I am at how far off we are from winning races right now. And, you know, this is Darlington. We did the tire test here, and, you know, the 18 really just kicked everybody's tail tonight. So we got some work to do. We've been working hard, and hopefully we get a little bit closer to them in Charlotte.
Thanks, Jeff. Chris Myers?
Thanks, Krista. And Jeff moves up into 10th in the chase for the championship. The top 12, of course, making it. We're 16. We're actually, after our 11th race of the season, inching a little bit closer. Let's head upstairs, get some thoughts from Darrell, Larry, and Mike. And indestructible is how Kyle Busch looked. 7 career wins for him already, guys.
There's a great story in today's New York Times about how Harold Brasington built this track in Ramsey's Peanut Field, and about its great history, and about how you have to race the racetrack. We talked about that all night long. But Darrell, are we about ready to turn the page? Because Kyle Busch didn't race the racetrack. He beat on it. He beat up on it. He beat up on his car, beat up on his crew. And he just beat this field into submission tonight.
Tonight was a smashing success, I might say, for the racetrack and for Kyle Busch. I thought it was an awesome race. With the speeds as high as they are, we set a new record for the race tonight. I mean, this car just impresses me, how resilient it is and how it can bounce off the wall, climb the wall, run over other things, and keep on going. That's incredible to me.
Yeah, I mean, who would ever believe that we would only have 2 cars out of this race? We had 7 backup cars that had to start this race. And, you know, you got to tip your hat. Chris Browning and the people here at Darlington, they didn't want to repave this racetrack, but they had to after 13 years. And you know what? The other person or group we got to give a tip of the hat to, we had no tire failures. And that's hard to do on a brand new surface. But just a few guys I want to give a big data boy to. We talked about David Reagan, another top 5 finish, up into the top 12 in points. And then Travis Quapple and Dave Blaney ran there in the top 10 most of the night. We know certainly that all the focus will be on Kyle Busch, but that's guys that you're so glad to see them have a great run.
And the little bit of things, the things they've done to this racetrack, it's like home improvement. What they did tonight made a huge difference. Wait till they go to the next phase. This is our history. This is our heritage. I can't wait to see what they do to this place next, because this is by far and away where we started our sport at, and I'm glad they're rebuilding it and bringing it back to its glory, because this joint deserves it.
And that next phase is real close.
Well, it's been a fun night for us here at Darlington. I'll bet it was a more fun night for David Reagan. Dick Berggren's with him.
Yeah, I bet it was too. David Reagan finished in the 5th position. How hard did you have to drive to get that 5th spot?
I had to drive as hard as I could without beating up my right side of my AAA Ford. My spotter and Jimmy Finning probably wore out 2 sets of radios telling me to keep it calm and keep it off the wall. But that was a fun race, and man, to run in the top 5 here at Darlington, that's pretty special for, you know, my family and for all the real race fans out there. A lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, and he's in the top 12 in points too, Chris Myers.
All right, thanks, Dick. Yeah, 2 top 5s in the last 3 races for David Reagan. As we look at our unofficial results here, Carl Edwards finishing just behind Kyle Busch, Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Pretty impressive leaderboard. Matt Kenseth, remember in 2005, he was 24th, worked his way up to make the chase before finishing 7th in that championship year. And as we work through the order, Jeff Hammond.
Well, you take a look right back there. Jimmy Johnson struggled right there at the end. Mark Truex Jr. had a good car. How about Tony Stewart? Right at the end, probably had one of the fastest cars there, but because of that second lap incident with Elliott Sadler, he really struggled to get back to finish up 21st. But tough racetrack, and it pretty much shows all the way back to the fact that the guy was a pole sitter, Greg Biffle, finishing dead last because of a mechanical problem.
Yeah, and 4 wins for Toyota this year. They had no wins last year. So whatever Joe Gibbs, whatever they're paying him, it's worth it. And the point standings with 15 to go until the chase. Jeff Burton still second. Denny Hamlin hanging in there at 4th. Carl Edwards moved up a few notches. Kevin Harvick, who had a rough night, and Jeff Gordon moving into the top 10. And Jeff, you talked about it with Darrell in the pre-race show. We counted 24 cars and more than 40 hits against the wall, some guys 2 or 3 times. And somehow through all this, they earn their stripes. That's what Darlington does to you. They leave their mark, but Kyle Busch survived it.
Yeah, guys like Sam Hornish, I think he hit it probably about 20 times tonight. One of the hardest licks we saw all night long had to have been Kevin Harvick. But this is what Darlington's all about. You know, you think about the lady in black. Well, this wall was perfectly white when you dropped the green flag about 4 hours ago. Now you see the black stripe that just about goes all the way around the outside of this racetrack. Again, this is what this track is all about.
Saturday baseball on Fox, the Brewers and Red Sox, Dodgers, Angels, Indians, Reds, and the game of the week, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific in high definition. So with Kyle winning 3 races this year, Carl Edwards 3, Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Tony Stewart, they've yet to win.
Well, what you're looking at right now has to be the fact that these guys are kind of shaping up to have a pretty good battle between these 2 young lines.
For Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers, thanks for being a part of NASCAR on Fox. And to all the moms out there, have a great Mother's Day. Thanks for watching.
Love it when it's forward, love it when it's fast, love it when the leaders cross the back is moving past, love it when they're making lots and lots of noise. Can't wait to hear the double say. Boogity, 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 let's go racing, boys. Let's go racing, boys. Let's go racing, boys.
Some trucks care. Telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
This has been a presentation of Fox Sports, home to the World Series, the BCS, the NFC Championship, the Daytona 500, and FoxSports.com, the world's favorite sports site.